I cannot believe that it is already March, which means we are only a couple months away from WWDC, where we'll see all the new software from Apple. And while I've mostly remained quiet on this, the past couple of days I've been seeing more and more rumors about how iOS 19 is going to be a huge redesign, arguably the biggest redesign since iOS 7. Shout out to all the people who were part of the iOS 7 developer beta. So many phones were bricked and broken. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time around. Now obviously Apple has been in the news a lot as of recent because of Apple Intelligence and how it's basically probably the biggest flop in at least the past 20 years of Apple's history. It seems like Apple's really trying to backpedal a bit by changing a lot of the imagery and wording on the website because it is so far past the coming soon stage and just getting to an unacceptable level. Hopefully at WWDC we don't see them just bury this under the rug and they actually at least acknowledge it and let us know their plan to actually give us the product that a lot of people paid for. But that's not what most of this video is about. I, of course, on this channel focus on cameras, filmmaking, and so when I heard that the new design is going to kind of follow the design language around Vision OS, which of course I'm a Vision Pro owner, shout out to my secondary channel, the Vision Pro Experience. Going even more specific though, we have started hearing rumors about a redesigned camera app. And of course, there's not really a lot of leaks or anything that gives us a clue as to what this could mean. I'm really hoping that when they say redesigned camera app, it doesn't end up just being the same camera app, just redesigned with the new design language. So if any Apple developers are listening and there's some room for, the filmmaking community's wish list, this is for you. I know what many of you may be thinking. Just give us basically the Blackmagic camera app built into the native app. One, this is completely unrealistic. Blackmagic and Apple seem to have a very tight relationship. That kind of tells us that they are happy that there is this professional ultimate option for filming on the phone, and there's really no need for them to spend all the time and money to kind of integrate that into their basic camera app. And alongside that, I think probably the biggest reason they would never do this is that would alienate the majority of their user base. Can you imagine if your non-tech friend, your parent, your grandparent opens the camera app and all the information that the Blackmagic camera app pops up with? So what does the native camera app actually need? First, I think they need to get rid of their redundancy in the app. Normally, I'm all for having multiple ways to do a singular task. Take like a cinema camera, for example. I like being able to access a setting via a touchscreen going through the menus, but then it's also nice to have a physical button because you may be wearing gloves or you're not looking, so you can press the physical button from muscle memory. Those are nice forms of redundancy for software features. But you know what makes absolutely no sense is going into video mode. You have ProRes at the top. I can tap that for ProRes on or off. And then if I hit this drop down arrow, which is supposed to give me more advanced settings, I see a Pro mode right here, but it's actually not a Pro mode. It's just short for ProRes. And again, when you tap this, it's on or off. It just makes absolute zero sense that you would ever spend more clicks to do the same thing that you can do with a singular click. So they need to fill this drop down arrow area with some actual pro advanced features. Speaking of updates, today's sponsor Motion Ray has just come out with an awesome new feature that makes editing with motion graphics way more efficient. So in this exact video that you're watching, you've already seen some titles and graphics, but take a look at my project. This is what my boring A-roll looks like currently. A lot of times for these news videos, I make them within a couple hours, so speed is incredibly important, and in the past this has been a reason why I've left out certain titles and graphics. But thankfully Motion Ray has added a whole new category of motion graphics that already have the background cut out. This means I no longer need to create alpha channels or Luma key out different layers. Going through their new motion graphics catalog, we can see a whole bunch of different styles and options. So all I have to do is hit download here. As my base layer, I'm actually going to bring in this grunge background that I found on Motion Ray in the stock footage section. And then to kind of focus in on the title, I'm going to grab this small sphere 2. And I should be able to just drag this right on top. And you can see that their new drag and drop feature is exactly that. Of course, I can just go in, resize this to what I want. Now I'm just going to drag on some text that I created. And within just about a minute, I have a title created that I'm going to repeat throughout the video. If you have been looking to elevate your videos by adding motion graphics, now's the best time to do it with Motion Array's new drag and drop feature. It works in all the major editors. To learn more about it and check it out for yourself, check out the link in the description below. Let's get back to more iOS 19 updates. I think probably the most requested one for the past couple of years ever since 𝗦𝗙𝗙𝗙 came out is to actually get a LUT preview. I think for a lot of people, if they added no other feature but this, they would be extremely pleased. Because as of currently, when you turn on ProRes, there is no other way to view anything except that ultra flat profile. How nice is it to be able to load your own LUT into the Blackmagic camera app, and then when you're actually filming, you see pretty much what you're going to get. I'm guessing if they were to go through the trouble of adding that, they would add the option to either bake that LUT in or not. This is very important because some people absolutely want the LUT baked in, and some people like me absolutely do not want the LUT baked in. A quick sidestep feature to this is I hope in the Photos app they add the ability to add a LUT into the editing features. I am so shocked that it has been a good number of years that Apple Log has been out, and yet not even a third-party app has come out that allows you to take a log image and then add a LUT on top of that and then make adjustments. The Keynote video app is the only app that I know of, and I have checked probably weekly, that allows you to take an outside clip, add it in the Keynote app, and then apply any of your LUTs. But they do not currently have the ability to then make minor adjustments. You can't change the white balance, the exposure, contrast, anything else. So unless your shot was perfectly exposed and that LUT perfectly looks good on that image, there's really not much of a point to it. All right, so let's say they add all those features. What else could they add? Well, on the regular video mode, when it comes to adjusting your exposure, it's like anything else, right? It's basically just touch and either drag up to make it brighter, drag it down to make it darker. You have that EV where you can set to, like me, I put at -0.07 because I'd always rather retain more highlights, so I underexpose a little bit. But besides that, you essentially have no exposure control. You have no idea what your shutter speed or ISO is. So I would love if they just added those two metrics, ISO and either shutter speed. Personally, I would like shutter angle, but I won't get my hopes too high. But it would be amazing to not only just see that quick information, I don't think that is too advanced for the native camera app in a pro mode, and that would give me the ability to lock in those settings. I know a lot of people are going to say white balance, and to be honest, while I would like that, and I could imagine they would add it if they added those other two things, all three of those settings usually go hand in hand. The fact that they do have lock white balance on record, I think is okay, and most of the time when I'm using the native app, it's because I just want to capture something very quickly. So while I could see myself very quickly making sure my ISO wasn't cranked all the way up or the shutter speed wasn't so ridiculous, but most of the time I trust the phone in terms of white balance, and since it's locking on record anyway, I would actually be okay if they didn't add this feature. Hot take? I don't know, let me know in the comments. The question I get a lot when it comes to recording onto the SSDs is, can I record to an SSD if I don't want to shoot in ProRes? And as of currently in the native camera app, no. The only time a external SSD is utilized is if ProRes is turned on. While this may be more of a niche feature, I think a lot of people would enjoy for their various different workflow reasons if you could keep ProRes off but still plug in an SSD and have the videos go directly onto it. Also, there are a lot of people who use this as a kind of pro photographer tool, so it would be interesting to see them just carry this feature over to the photo mode as well. Like this video if you would also like to see that. In terms of the overall design, I don't think too much needs to be changed here. I love the fact that changing lenses is right in front of your face. This is different than most third-party apps like the Blackmagic camera app and others, where you usually have to shift your hands and holding the phone around to tap up to your lenses and then select everything. One of the best reasons why the native app is used for those quick moments is the fact that with one hand I can pull it out, open the camera app, and change all my different lenses right then and there. When it comes to waveforms, audio meters, like I feel like that starts to get into, again, where if I'm caring about my waveforms and I'm really looking at scopes, I'm just going to open the Blackmagic camera app and utilize a fully advanced featured pro app. I think adding some of these professional settings would give pros more control, but still have very fast, efficient shooting styles. If I missed any settings that you think Apple should include in a pro mode or newer version of the native iOS app, let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.